Over the past 2 days, I have been on, I want to say I've done 25 calls one-to-one with people asking questions, and it is just me doing them. So I try and keep them to a short call, which isn't always great. So what I've done is I've kind of put together the most asked questions, and then I'm also going to show you the inside of the academy and what it looks like on the inside. So one of the most common questions that I was asked, and also you can ask your own questions, obviously. That's why we're here. I'm not ready for a relationship. I'm not sure this is for me. I've got all the questions. I've wrote them down. So if you see me looking down, that is what I'm doing. The thing with the Healthy Love Academy is you don't need to be ready for a relationship right now. You can take the rest. And when I did all of this stuff with myself, I actually came off all dating and I was like, I'm not doing this anymore. Sorry. Hi, Dion. Yeah, I said I kind of had enough because the dating world is a little bit I don't even know the word, terrible. And so you don't need to be wanting to have a relationship at the moment, it's in the future. If you're actively dating, it works too. I've got quite a few of my clients that are actively dating and then using this stuff in those dates to decide, is this person right for me or are they not? But it equips you with the skills when you do want to find someone to spend your life with. You've got the skills to be able to kind of wheedle through and say no to the people that are not your people, essentially. A variation of, so I've had the same question, but I've had it two different ways. So newly single, I'm newly single, or I've been single for a long time. And one of my clients, when she first started working with me, she had actually been split up from her partner for 3 days, and by chance fell across one of my Instagram posts and would jumped on a call. And she will say that I am the reason that they didn't get back together, because when he was like messaging her and when he was trying to claw her back in, and it was a really toxic relationship full of drugs, abuse, cheating, just vile. She had the strength to be like, no, I'm not doing this. And now she is in a very lovely relationship because she built herself up. But when she first started working with me, she'd actually been single for 3 days. So yeah, newly single, not a big deal. My client, I think the record is 11 years that they've been single, and mainly through fear. And a lot of people, and obviously I had this same thing myself where I was fearful of getting hurt. And I don't know if you read my email, I think it was this morning, or it might have been yesterday, about when I first met Alan. I was very much like, this is good, but I'm scared because no one wants to get hurt again. Even if you have a fully regulated nervous system, like no one is going to deliberately go out somewhere that is going to get them hurt. So actually putting yourself out there can be very fearful and very scary. So yeah, it doesn't really matter how long you've been single. This works either way. What I'm going to do is I'm going to share my screen. Give me a nod if you can see that. Cool. So this is inside. So when people join, they get immediate access to this. The initial login email may go into junk just because of the email gods not being anyone's friend anymore. And the only way I figured the only way to get into people's inbox in the first instance is to have an email that is like sam@hotmail.com. But I don't, like, I feel that I should have an email address that is actually linked to my website and to the name of it. But yeah, so this is the inside, and the Healthy Love Academy is down here, but the other stuff is all linked in. It's often easier to just go in to the nervous system reset from this page rather from in the Healthy Love Academy. And so this is the 30-day reset. By the end of the 30 days, as long as you do the work, your nervous system will be back to where it needs to be on just like a level playing field. Each one, so like day one is, I think, 9 minutes. Yeah, 9 minutes. The longest one is around 25 minutes. And although it's 30 days, you can have like a break. I always advise people to do the whole 30 days, but if you're, I don't know, going away for the weekend, you can just continue day 6 and 7 when you come home. There's no massive deal if you miss that. Sometimes people kind of rush through it. So what I actually have, obviously, I can see all of these because this is my account. But for you will only see the first 7 days. And then after that, the next lot will be released, because what I've had before is some people want to get all the knowledge and they want to do it as quick as possible. And this is not something that can be rushed. Like, it's daily practice to start to change what has happened before. So you didn't get to this point just through one day. It took often years to get to this point. And so you rushing through, and obviously I force you to slow it down, because you actually can't get access to week 2 until it's past 7 days from when you started. Some people will wait and they'll be like, well, I'll just wait till I've got all 30 days and then I'll rush it. Obviously that's people's own choice. Within a lot of these, they then link up and recommend activities within the emotional regulation toolkit. The toolkit is there for like your in between when you're not live with me, to give you that additional boost. So there's stuff that are like 5-minute resets, and I do add more into these are your kind of emergency situations where I am overwhelmed, my heart's racing, I'm really struggling in this moment, but I need to carry on with my day because I can't just shut down right now. I need to get over it. And these are your moments where 5 minutes, let's get out of it, and then we'll deal with it later on, but I've got to go to work or whatever it is. Hi, Hannah. And then we've got meditations, future self, dealing with emotional things that come up, because all of the stuff that I do it's strength based and it's moving forward. I don't believe that you need to keep going over and over and over your trauma just to kind of talk about it for the sake of it. If you want to share stuff with me, that's absolutely fine, but it's not a necessity. But sometimes things will come up for you, and this is your place to go. But as you go through the 30 days, at the bottom, it'll be like, I think you should go do this thing now if you've got time. And it recommends that. And then these are more kind of 5-minute resets where, depending on whether you're in fight, flight, or freeze, depends on which one is the best one for you at the time. And then we've got some extra things around your intuition. And then this is in the academy. So like I said, obviously 30-day reset is there, as well as the emotional regulation toolkit. It's just when you first log in, it's easier. I couldn't find an actual way of making it link as well. So obviously you can see on there, it's only day one. So that would just be my recommendation, if you're not tech savvy like I'm not. So yeah, some extra modules, and then we have stuff around dating, communication, beliefs, more nervous system, like extra stuff, because I am always learning. I'm always, and you probably know this if you're on my email list, I'm off and I'm doing learning, I'm doing training, I'm going to masterminds. And so things that I pick up along the way, I just add it in, and then more and more stuff. And then we have the red flag radar. And I don't think they've actually talked about this at all in this whole process. But the red flag radar is essentially all the signs that I have seen. As most of you know, I'm ex-probation officer. I spent a lot of years working with men who committed domestic violence offences, committed controlling and coercive behaviours. And this is like my Bible of all the behaviours that I have seen and how to pick up on them quickly and how to stop yourself from being drawn in. And obviously you can see there's quite a lot because it is what it is, unfortunately. But this is a whole area for you to go through. And then in there, we also have the bot. So this bot it's an AI tool that I have trained on my brain, and it's where you can go in and you can say, I have been on a date with this person and they did this, and the bot will come back and say to you, I think that's a red flag. I don't think that's a red flag. There might be something else going on for you, or actually we need to see a bit more behaviors here before we can determine that. And it's just, obviously, if you come on a call with me and say, Sam, this happened, then I could tell you that. But often people aren't coming on a call with me straight after they've been on a date or if they've spoke to someone. So this is just like your in-between bit. Oh, no, sorry. I clicked the wrong button. And then we've got the manifestations. So I'm going to come off, I'm going to come back to you. If you were in the live, you'd have seen my processes of nervous system reset, change your attraction, dating and relationship skills, and then manifesting. And so the manifestations, again, some of them you'll be able to see immediately, but some of them I hold back because, again, some people get a little bit enthusiastic and then they do all the manifestations, don't do anything with nervous system reset, and then they're like, but Sam, it's not working. And I'm like, well, because you're still sitting at a baseline of fight, flight, or freeze, and the universe can't pick up on the difference, despite you saying, this is what I want and this is what my life's going to be like. It's still, it works on your emotions and your feelings. So yes, some of them are in there, and then the more kind of technical ones, you need to finish the reset before you get access to them. One of the other questions that came up was, how much time do I need to commit each week? And so all of those recordings, all the videos, they, like I say, the maximum is 25 minutes. The live calls with me, I say an hour, but I try and make sure that everyone gets a go and gets to actually chat to me if they want to. So we can go on longer than an hour. But if you were to join the live and then you had an appointment in like half an hour, put in the chat, Sam, I need to go. Can I go first? And that's absolutely fine. But yes, so around an hour. But I am fluid with it, and I would never want someone to go away from a call being like, "Oh, I really wanted to talk to Sam, but she had to go," because that's not my style, and yeah, I want to help people. So yes, which leads on to the next question that has been asked is there live support? So within the Healthy Love Academy, you obviously get everything that I've just shown you. That is for life. You've got it forever. So I have some people that will say, "Oh, I'm going on holiday next week, so I can't start the reset," and you've got it forever. So if you're busy at work or something like that, you can start at a different point. You also get 12 weeks of live coaching with me. These are not every single week because I do have other commitments. So I'm going away in May. So I'm not, as much as I'd love to, I don't want to actually sit on, I don't want to take my laptop whilst I'm sat on a sunbed. So yes, what happens is when you join, the first live actual like coaching is a week later, just to give you a little bit of time to have a look, and then anything that's coming up for you, because I wouldn't want anyone to come straight on and then basically waste their time of like asking me a question and me being like, "Oh, well, that's on day 6, so just go watch day 6." It would be better for you to get the most out of it if you've done a little bit, and then we can kind of go through that, because questions will come up and we can work on that. What else? When are the lives? When people join, I send out a form asking you about yourselves, and I also ask for best times. I can't always do everyone. So if I have people that are like, this time is better and this time is better, I'll try and get in between. I did have last time the doors opened, I had quite a few American people join, and then I had UK people join, and I did have to split it because I couldn't I couldn't get them on the same timeline. So that's what happens. But you'll get a form, it'll ask you, and because you're paying, you obviously want to be there, and I want you to be there. I don't want to be on a call with no one, because that would be quite boring for me. So yes. Next question, which I think I've already answered, is this going to make me relive painful memories? And no, it's moving forward. We are not looking to the past. If you want to talk about your past, I'm never going to tell anyone to be quiet, because that's not okay. But I'm also never going to force anyone to bring up things that they don't want to talk about. And there's a lot of research around, if you can continuously talk about the same thing, it can actually re-traumatize you. And I don't want to do that. So yeah, we're going forward, we're changing lives. We don't need to be looking at what's behind us anymore. One of the questions that came up was, how is this different to other things that are out there? And there's lots of different courses. There's lots of dating courses, lots of manifestation courses. And what this is it's like having all the pieces, because we do the nervous system regulation, and then it's around attraction, and then it's the dating and relationship skills, which I do think is something that is hugely missing. And I know I said this in the masterclass, that this should be taught in schools. It should be taught how do you deal with someone that is jealous? How do you deal with an argument? I'll come back to you in a minute, Hannah. How do you not turn it into a slanging match, screaming? And how do you deal with like boundaries of people testing those boundaries and then you actually having to stick to it? And how do you say no without sounding rude and sounding aggressive? And we just don't learn them in school, unfortunately. And I spent many years teaching groups of men how to not shout at people and how not to get aggressive. And it's actually difficult when it's so like ingrained, but that's why we have that in there, because I think, yes, I could say to you, go do nervous system regulation, but if you have not had a healthy relationship before, or if you've had very few, then you won't have the skills to be in one. And like I always say, with me and with Alan, when we met, Alan had done a lot of work on himself as well. He'd been to therapy, and we were both at the right point at the right time. If I had still been kind of using all of kind of my relationship experiences, which were me minimizing myself or like having shouting matches, I wouldn't have been the right person for Alan because that's not his style. He doesn't do shouting, and so we wouldn't actually be together, and I wouldn't be here teaching this because I'd be a hypocrite, right? If I was single. So it's getting all those different pieces and putting them together in one place. Why nervous system regulation? And I did talk about this in the masterclass, and I talk about it all the time. People probably get sick of me talking about it. There's so much research into this that you don't need me to tell you. The polyvagal theory, there's all these different theories that talk about how if we have a dysregulated nervous system, we continue to repeat the same cycles because what feels safe to us is what is familiar. And unfortunately, a lot of the time, that is not the safe thing. And it's normally the opposite to what the logical side of our brain says that we want. But we can't overpower that until we're in a regulated state. And often we then go through those same cycles. And because we live in a constant state of fear and unknowing and that the fight, flight, or freeze response, we just continue in a cycle. And I was in that cycle for a very long time myself. And I don't think anyone should be anymore. It makes me sad. And yeah. But I first learned about this. How many years ago? Let's say 13, 14. Anyway, I was at the time, I was working with women who had been victims of domestic violence. And so I went on this 2-day training course that was all about working in a trauma-informed way. And the facilitator of the course was, she was talking and she said, have you ever wondered why these women keep going through the same cycles? They keep going for the same men and keep getting themselves into this problem. And she was like, it's because they've got a dysregulated nervous system. And then she didn't say anything else. And I was like, wow, what is that? And so I went away and obviously did my own research and then realized that that was me as well. And I had a problem. But it was just kind of me sat on a plastic chair doing this 2-day training. And if any of you ever been in training before where you sat there all day and then you probably take away a few things from it. That was the thing. I've had a few people that have said about doing this by themselves. And also in the live, I was asked how people would go and learn the stuff that I learned. And you absolutely can do it by yourself. But it's not exclusive to me. And I didn't really answer the question properly because it threw me a little bit, because I was like, how do I put into words everything that I have learned over the years? And being a probation officer, obviously you have to go to university, you have to do 3 years in university, and then you have to do an extra 18-month qualification all around motivating people, trying to change people and their mindsets and their behaviors. And you have to be registered. Like if I was a psychologist, I would have to be on a professional register, and that is the same with probation. So there is that, and that is where I learned a lot of my skills of working with people, and obviously my time in prison and being on the ball all the time. Some people are there's a thing called reflecting in action and reflecting after action, and most people reflect after. So that is where a situation happens, and afterwards you think, why didn't I do that? Why didn't I do this thing? There's not that many people, other than like kind of emergency workers, that can do the inaction part. And I can do both randomly. So if you can do both, because one of my clients said to me last week, she was like, I can do both, Sam. And I just thought everyone could. And I said, no, not everyone could. That's where procrastination comes from, because people overthink everything. So yeah, you can go. There are lots of courses out there where you can go and learn this. I've done two manifestation courses. They were both like £3,000 each. And yeah, but for me, I have been working with people to change their behaviors for 15 years and working with women for 11. So it's been a lot of time. And that's why I kind of struggled with that question, because I was like, I don't even know how to put into words that. So, yes. So that was the end of the questions like that I'd formulated from everyone that I'd talked to. Obviously, there's some random ones that probably weren't relevant. If any of you have questions, I am happy to take them. And also, I know that I said that it would only be half an hour, and I know that we've gone 3 minutes over already. If you need to leave, I understand. Oh, Hannah, sorry, I was coming back to you, wasn't I? So the replay has obviously come down. It is in the Healthy Love Academy, but I've took it down. You're on mute.
I definitely wasn't eating some crisps then when the sun shone.
Very sunny there.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Oh yeah, I'm loving your work. I love your background and everything. It's really good.
Thank you.
Yeah, no, I just it's just a basic question about the replay, because I got halfway through it and then I missed. I think it got taken down. Will there be another chance to watch another one of your masterclasses at all?
So I don't know when I'm doing it again. It kind of depends on like my schedule. But I do, obviously, I invite everyone on my email list when I do them again.
Okay.
Yeah.
Brilliant. Yeah. I just wanted to watch it all properly.
Yeah.
But thank you so much.
That's
I'm
okay.
going to stop hogging the floor now. We wait for the sunshine, and then when it comes, it's like, oh, it's in my eyes.
Yeah, well, I don't think you was in when I was talking earlier. I had to improvise on a hat because all of my hats were in the loft. So I ended up putting an eye mask over my head because my parting gets burnt. It doesn't matter what I do, it gets burnt and it just ends up, it's like bright red. So yeah, we love the sun, but then we also moan. But I think the perfect temperature is around like 20 and that's it. Like we don't need it raining, we don't need it boiling, just in between.
I know. It's just so nice to have the sun back, though, isn't
Yeah.
it?
Yes. And actually, research has proven that the sun makes us happier.
It definitely does. I can
Yeah.
vouch for that.
Yeah. So any of you, if the sun is shining right now, top tip, um, obviously if you haven't got like shared gardens or whatever, lift your top up because the sun, when it hits your stomach, regulates your nervous system better than it hitting any other part of your body.
Oh, really?
Yes. So yeah, natural healing.
I love that.
Yeah,
Right, I'm going to shut up now. Sorry, everyone.
that's all right.
Bye.
Bye. So Klarna should be on there, Marie. I'm not. I'll have to double check that because it was on there. But there is the installment plan came out today. So that's on there. I think I put it in an email earlier. So don't do PayPal just because I have quite a few different systems that I'm working from, and I can't cope with another system. So yeah, I just try and bundle everything all into one place. But there's like this Stripe, and then there's Kajabi, and then I've got a different email system, and then there's like an automated system to like find Facebook and my email system and Kajabi. Yeah, I'm not that great at tech, at any sort of tech. So yes, Hannah, the one with the live calls is 997, and you can obviously get access without the live calls for 497. Any other questions? No? Okay. Well, I will let you all go and enjoy the sun and your dinner and anything else that you're gonna enjoy. Yeah, let me send you the link. Awesome. I'm here. Sorry. It's loading. Bear with me. And obviously, there you go. If anyone wants to stay on because they don't want to ask a question with other people around, that's also fine. I will stay on just for a little bit longer.
No, that's fine. Thank you, Sam.
Thank you.
Nice to be live.
Yes, I know. We miss each other, don't we? But
Yeah,
yeah, nice.
later, but I do watch replays. So
I
thank
know
you. I
you
really
do.
appreciate it.
I know.
Thank
I know
you.
you're busy. So.
Thank you. Well, enjoy the rest of the
Thank
your
you.
holiday time. Thank you so much. Bye-bye.
Bye. Are you staying on to ask me questions?